Thing I mentioned in one of the comments um, about closing the loop. I already talked in many videos now about what happens after awakening, what happens after you realize you're not the person, after you take things personally. And once you practice a few times or many times to be in the observer state. What happens so often is when we go into this observer state, or we remain in the observer state, life life happens, because I'm not claiming you cannot, but I assume that you cannot stay in the observer state all the time, while at the same time, and this is the irony of it all, you're already always, let me phrase it differently, the observer is always already there. It's always ever present. It's there, the observer state. The observer being, whatever you want to call it. I can only point to it until you experience it yourself. And so let me give a few examples. So I'm having a conversation with someone, and at some point I notice a thought about this person or about the conversation. And let's just say it's a pleasant conversation. There's nothing happening specifically, nothing that would trigger me maybe, or hurt me or get me emotionally involved. No, I'm just listening to the person, being present, maybe even holding space. Because sometimes listening is like you're really open to what the person has to say. And of course, while the person is talking, the mind is like sometimes like an administrator, or someone, I don't know how you call it, a scribe in yeah, I think it's called a scribe. Someone taking notes. So while this conversation is going and you're listening, something is like taking notes. And at some point, something is noticed. I'm First, let me say this. It's pretty difficult to stay in the observer mode all the time, because you're not just the observer. The observer is there. Really, it's always there. But you switch back and forth. Yeah, sometimes when I'm listening to someone, someone says something, and then I just, slowly float off. My attention goes somewhere else. I see the person talking, but there's no words coming in. There's no comprehension of what is being said there. I'm actually not listening anymore. I'm not paying attention, one could say. No, my gaze, my attention is inward, and maybe I drift off on a thought, on a memory, on an image that pops up, on maybe just fantasy, or I go into this daydreaming state. All these things, they exist and happen all at the same time. But yeah, the focus is gone. I'm no longer like focused on what the other person is saying. So that's the That's the preface. uh, just be aware of, you don't have to be the observer, you don't have to stay fixated on this state of being. It's okay, allow yourself to drift off, allow yourself to, you know, this is what I call being human. It's not like a performance. It's not like when you're listening to someone, of course we feel, sometimes we feel like shame or we feel guilty, like, oh wait, sorry, I was not paying attention. You've been talking for 1 hour straight and I only heard like the first 5 sentences. Even when you're listening to my videos, I mean, I can just continue, and at some point during the video I say something and you just, and you drift off, and you know, thoughts and emotions happening. Maybe you get triggered, maybe you get distracted by something, and yeah, that's the cool thing about a video. You can just pause it or rewind. And with the conversation, yes, the same thing. If you just noticed you drifted off, then you say, sorry, can you repeat that again? Or can you go back to there and there, because it's the last thing I heard. No need to apologize, no need to feel shameful or guilty about this. It's just very human. And sometimes you have to set clear boundaries. I mean, some people, they don't really connect with you. They're not really in tune with you. They're not really talking to you or with you. They're not like really communicating. Most of them, they're just rambling, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they want to hook you. And you, yeah, attention, me. Ah, these people are exhausting. And if you're watching this and you recognize yourself in this, first of all, I forgive you. Because that's also being part of human. This is how you were raised, how you grow up. It's a survival mechanism. It's a way of being seen. It's not a positive way, but still, you know, it's your way of feeling safe, feeling wanted, feeling heard. As in, they hear you, feeling seen. But so often, because you're disconnected with yourself, you're not really able to connect with the other. So there's no like back and forth. It's usually a one-way street. And it's funny, if while recording videos, I can sense who is watching, even though it's in the future or some place far away. No, I'm tuned into this field. And yeah, it's not always the unified field, but it's like collective. You and me, we form a collective, even though it's temporarily. And I'm not saying like we're friends and yeah, let's have let's have dinner. No, I'm connecting mostly through this channel from experienced awareness, from awareness that knows itself. It's the best I can frame it, phrase it. So, okay, back to the topic. So, whether you're communicating with someone else or you're communicating with yourself, and let me be clear about this. We sometimes go into stories, right? We like drift off. So let's say you're in the observer state and you have like a problem at work or with a friend or with a partner or a lover or maybe just with a situation. and you go into this observer state, and you start watching the stories unfold. Like, yeah, I was this morning. I was working. I started at around 8, and at 3 p.m. started at 8 a.m. and at around 3 p.m. I felt so tired, and now I feel a little bit annoyed because it's like an obsession and blah blah blah, and I just notice the mind, the ego, having these opinions about me, about what I do, about how I do it. I'm not saying this is me. It's just an example, because something similar popped up today, and I just observed it and didn't ignore it. I didn't accept it, neither accept nor deny. I didn't fight it. I didn't agree with it or disagree with it. No, I just noticed that thought, and yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I had a great time actually. Even though I pretty much worked a full-length day, like no break, nothing, just, and it feels good. Yeah, it felt good. Because I like productivity. I like when things flow, when things happening. And yeah, even when things are not happening the way I wanted or I expected them to, like I expected to finally can be able to go live on YouTube, because I have now more than 50 subscribers, and as soon as I want to go live, it says, yeah, make more shorts so you get at least 50 subscribers, and I'm like, what? And then it's I fixed it somehow, and then I noticed it's not recording it on YouTube. No, it's still recording it on my phone, and my phone has very limited storage capacity, very limited space. So that's why I record this live on YouTube, on Facebook, and then download it and upload it, and that's why the quality is not always that great. But yeah, my videos are not about video quality, image quality. No, my videos are about the things I share with you. So I noticed, and this is the loop part, so I noticed the thought, are you being obsessive? Is this typically what they used to call manic depression? Are you being manic again? Are you like obsessed with work? Are you escaping reality by working your ass off? And this is where people usually close the loop. They agree, whether conscious or unconscious, they agree with that thought. And that's when you close the loop. Then that thought, the thought of that reality, becomes reality. I just observed it. I saw the thought. I didn't disagree with it. I didn't agree with it. I just observed it and moved on, because it's not relevant. And it didn't need my attention at that point. I mean, sometimes the things pop up and they do need my attention. So that's why I then sit with it, allow it to be, listen to it. I have like these conversations with myself. I've always had this, so maybe this is new to you, something you don't know or never experienced. or maybe you're not conscious about it. But I think in general, people, yeah, pretty much everybody has conversations with themselves. But it depends. Are you arguing with yourself? Are you fighting yourself? Or are you agreeing with everything the mind says, the thoughts say? Because so often these thoughts are not even yours. They're like, you know, programs, conditioning. Actually, it's like a parent. It's like a voice talking to you, like your mom, like your dad, like the one who raised you, or a teacher, or a critic, or here's the same thing. Don't take it personal. You know, that voice talking to you, that's not you. You can observe that voice as like, okay, I hear what's being thought, I hear what's being said, but I don't have to take it personally. I don't need to close the loop. But so often we're so used to closing the loop, because then it feels like resolve. It feels like we understand, or we get it. Like, yeah, now I know what to do. This comes from control. This comes from fear. This comes from needing to control your life, needing to be in charge of your life. And well, it's very easy. You're not in charge of everything. Nothing is under control. Relax. Nothing is under control. Okay. So when you notice you close the loop, then you're already halfway there. Next time, or after a few times, you will start noticing the inclination, the tendency to want to close the loop. And that's where you use discernment and your free will, choice. I don't need to close this loop. Or do I? If I do, then just allow it to be. It's simple. It really is. Alright. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.